The Moʻolelo of ʻAʻapueo. There's a Pueo wahine, and her name is ʻAʻapueo. So this was her home, the district of ʻAʻapueo, named after her. And her husband, Pueo Kaua, he lives on the eastern border of Wailuku district, closer to Paia and Hamakopoko side. And they had 7 eggs together. And these two Pueo, they had 7 eggs. And one day they left the 7 eggs at Pueo Kaua's home in Wailuku. And then one day this wahine comes from Kaimuhe'e, and that's Kahului area. And she comes and she's going to catch grasshoppers, it says in the Mo'olelo. And as she's going through the fields of Wailuku, she hits this border and then she finds the 7 eggs. She stumbles upon the 7 eggs. She takes the 7 eggs, thinking that they're duck eggs, and she takes them back to her home in Kaimuhe'e. And she shows it to her husband, whose name is Kapoi. And this wahine, she's just Kawahine a Kapoi in the Mo'olelo. So she shows it to Kapoi, and Kapoi says, "Oh, kuwahine, like these are pueo eggs." And she said, "Oh, I thought they were duck eggs, that's why I took them." And while they're discussing, ʻAʻapueo flies over and sees the eggs in Kapoi's hands. And she says, "Kapoi, wa'uhua, ho'i mai. Kapoi, give me my eggs back. Like that's my keiki, give me my eggs." And Kapoi has this immediate instinct to kind of challenge ʻAʻapueo. "He maki no kaua? Like, what, we gonna die if we don't give the eggs back? He aka mea ho'i aku ai hua." And the wahine in this moment is she's kind of in this position where, oh, do we give the eggs back or do we keep the eggs? Whereas Kapoi is just like, "No, I'm gonna keep the eggs." And as Kapoi and ʻAʻapueo are arguing about the eggs, Kapoi takes the eggs and he smashes it on the papohaku, on the rock wall of the house. ʻAʻapueo swoops down and she is gathering these yolks and these shells of her keiki, of what was her keiki. And she's weeping, and she takes these eggs back to her husband, Pueo Kaua. And Pueo Kaua says, "Why are you crying?" And she said, "Look, our children. This is our children in my wings right here, the yolks and the shells." And from that moment, she said, like, we have to do something about this. She doesn't let this defeat her. ʻAʻapueo and Pueo Kaua, they plan to gather all the pueo of Hawaii, from Hawaii to Niihau. So Pueo Kaua was tasked in gathering the ones from Hawaii Island and East Maui, whereas ʻAʻapueo, she went to Oahu, Kauai, Niihau, then Molokai, Lanai, and Kaho'olawe. And then they all met in this valley called Manoe Pueo, which is in the Ukumehame area, right off of the Pali. And they met in this valley, and it says that they met on a Kane night, the night of Kane. And then when the Lono moon dawned, the next day, they all went over the mountain and they covered Wailuku region. And it says in the Mo'olelo that all these pueo had covered the light of the day. So it was just completely dark and there was this battle. And what the pueo did was they went Luku, which is to slaughter. They totally destroyed that area of Wailuku because that's where Kapoi was and his wahine. So it's this battle between the owls and the humans. For the humans had wahane hevalako. They had done wrong. And the pueo came together to ho'oponopono in a way, this atrocious act. And the name of this battle was Kamaluaka he Kuava. And it's the shadowing of the valley. And it talks about how the owls came and they just covered the valley, the Wailuku Valley. ʻAʻapueo is the name of the district that Kamehameha School sits in. And the role that ʻAʻapueo had in that mo'olelo was just so powerful. And you can learn a lot of lessons from ʻAʻapueo.